Hey guys, I'm Dan from Consider Tech. Today we're going to be talking about the Fire Stick TV. So you know how much I like the Google TV. Um, so you must be asking how much I like this thing. My answer is very complicated. I'd say that it's not better or worse than the Google TV. It honestly just depends on what kind of home you have. And I think Abbott agrees that the Google TV, Google in general, has a better voice assistant than Amazon does. So I told this. I think I said this in the Google TV video that I did, um, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it. That that I use Google everything. I use Google Maps. I use Google Calendar. I use Gmail. I use all that stuff instead of the Apple version. I like Google stuff even over Apple stuff. So, what is my opinion on this Fire Stick TV, which runs Fire OS, which is a version of Android OS, and that kind of stuff. So first off, it's an older OS. I know that for sure. Google's running Google TV, which is the new Android TV. So the Fire Stick still uses Android TV called Android TV. So the Android TV, in my opinion, so far, like initially, the Android TV should be worse. Well, let's see that in the specs. First off, we have a 4K output with Dolby Vision. It has also Dolby Atmos audio. It has 8 gigs of RAM. Has a quad-core processor. Now, that's basically the same thing as the Google TV, right? Let's get into the worser part, but it's okay. This device still has micro USB as its power output instead of the Google TV having USB-C. So that USB-C on an Android TV is kind of a big deal. It's not a huge deal, but it's a bigger deal because you can put a USB-C hub on it, which is, well, I personally think you'd mainly use it for like Ethernet and external storage, say, because they only have like 4 gigabytes of RAM or 4 gigabytes of storage. So you can use it for storage. You can use it for that. You can also use it for a Bluetooth keyboard, which would be for the Fire Stick TV. But you could also run a USB device, like a USB keyboard. Sorry, which makes the USB-C worth it. Now, like I said, this Fire Stick TV does not have USB-C. It has micro USB, which is the same in like old Samsungs, which is kind of a dead port. Nobody uses micro USB anymore, but which kind of sucks. And again, like that dates it again, right? That shows that it's an older device. The remote weighs about 43 grams, which is lighter than the Google TV one, which is 63 grams. Being the Google TV's remote is with batteries, and the Fire Sticks is without batteries. So it is still lighter, but it's not as much of a difference because batteries and without batteries. Let's start off with the goods and bads. The good is the part that is like the same OS, so it's easy to use, right? Like it's going from my Google TV to my dad's Fire Stick TV is really easy because they generally run the same apps and stuff like that, so it's very easy to go around. The thing I don't like is that it favors Prime, okay? So the recommended stuff is all Prime, whereas the Google TV one favors Google TV, which you might be thinking is essentially the same thing, but it's not, because Google TV shows recommended stuff, and then you go to it in Google TV, and it actually shows you ways to watch it in Netflix, in Prime, in Google TV, in whatever you have. So it extends that that watchability, whereas the Fire Stick, it only shows the Prime, and you have to go into the Netflix app to find a Netflix thing, right? Whereas I can be like, Google, open whatever it is in Netflix, and it will go to that straight away, or whatever in Disney Plus. But I can also just say the movie name, and it will actually it shows the streaming service first, and then if it doesn't have a streaming service that it connects to, then it will just show the Google TV like for money. It'll show what it is to rent, which is really cool. Um, but like I said, this Fire Stick does not have that at all. It just favors Prime. I also don't like the fact that it's kind of an old, boring look. Like if you look at it, it's just black border with yellow icons, and that's all it really has. It's really boring. I know that you think it doesn't really matter because you're just watching TV. You're not really in the menus that much and all that stuff. But it just the look just makes it feel more modern. When you have a device that feels more modern, you feel nice that you have it. It's the same as I'm like kind of seeing the new Samsungs versus the old Samsungs, right? The old Samsung OS is like kind of hard to use and it looks kind of meh to use because it's so old and it looks bad. Whereas like the new one UI and all that on new Samsungs looks really really good. It looks similar to iOS, which I won't get into at all, but it's okay. Um, it's a little bit old feeling OS, right? It's a little bit old of an OS, and it just makes it not feel as modern. Another bad thing is that it has micro USB instead of USB-C, like I already said earlier on in the video. So things like USB mouses don't work and stuff like that. Get down to the very end because kind of a quick video, but it's okay. Do I recommend this video? And if you have an Alexa Home, then for sure, it's all you really have. I mean, you guess you could go Roku or however you say that word. Roku or whatever, you could, I guess, for sure. But going with a Google TV, if you have an Amazon devices, doesn't really make sense. If you have a Google Home devices, right, like I do, then it makes sense to go with the Google TV. It's actually Google Chromecast with Google TV, right? So it makes more sense to go with the Google TV. Now the big one that I'm really trying to make this video about is those people that don't have either of them. They're just starting to get into a smart home, or they're trying to get, maybe they have a Chromecast or something like that, and they want to upgrade to this kind of thing. Which one do I get? I personally suggest you to get the Google TV. It's a newer OS, and I think it just broadens how much longer this will be supported for. Like a new Fire Stick will probably come out in the next at least 2 years, and it will have the same operating system as this Google TV does, right? So you might as well get ahead of the game and get the Google TV. And it also broadens your recommendations, which I prefer a lot. It feels like I was talking to you about earlier in the video about the whole Prime versus Google TV and how the Google TV it wants to show you Prime. It wants to show you Netflix movies over its own Google TV stuff, which makes the system work a lot better. It makes it easier for you to look up stuff because you can just go. You can go on the remote, search up, I don't know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something like that, and then it will show you all the episodes that are in the world. Like it'll actually show you the whole entire episodes, and it'll actually show locked ones that are paid for via Google TV, and also show the free ones via a streaming service, be it Netflix, Prime, HBO Max. I don't know, depending on what streaming service it's on. That part is way easier for most people to figure out. Whereas the Prime, if I go Alexa, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, then it will only show the Prime stuff. It will never show the Netflix stuff unless you want to go into Netflix and do that. So that helps. I mean, that changes everything, right? Like, now anybody technically can use it and just quickly talk to Google and say things instead of going through apps and stuff like that. But I mean, my dad had nothing. He bought a Fire Stick TV. Or a Fire Stick, sorry. It's not that bad. I mean, they know how to use it now, and it's really easy. Either one is good, and it all depends on preference. But if it was my personal buying again, I would still stick with the Google TV. It's a really, really good device, and yeah, it's just way easier to use in my opinion. So yeah, That's it. And see you in the next one. Bye.